So it is Thanksgiving here in the United States, and those of you who have been subscribed to me for a while, or at least for a year, remember that last year I did a video called Thank You, where I pretty much decided to take the Thanksgiving spirit, even though Thanksgiving is a holiday that's marred in a lot of controversy. If you really look into the history of Thanksgiving, it's not what you think it is, but that's a video for another day. But I still decided to kind of take the whole thankfulness concept and kind of apply it last year on Thanksgiving, because at the time I had just closed on a home. I had just bought a house and I was really, really happy, and I wanted to thank people who have supported me, because if it wasn't for your support, and your viewing of my videos and sharing it and really helping me out, I wouldn't have been able to do that, if it wasn't for the support of all of you, watching the content, sharing it out, liking it, doing whatever you can to get the good word out. It means a lot to me. And, being a full-time content creator, or whatever you want to call it, YouTuber, it's like any other job. You've got your good days and your bad days, and sometimes you have a bad day at the office, Some days you have a good day at the office, but at the end of the day, for me, there are quite a bit of bad days and quite a bit of good days, but ultimately I love what I do. And I wanted to kind of reflect back on the previous year and kind of talk about the Dragon Ball community and where we've come from last year. Excuse me, I got gas there. So, 2019, I don't think was a very good year for the Dragon Ball fandom. We started off pretty good with the Broly movie coming out outside of Japan, and lots of folks went to go see it. Most Dragon Ball fans enjoyed the film. Even people who didn't even like Dragon Ball Super were saying that they really liked the movie, that it felt like the Dragon Ball they grew up with, and it was a really, really good dub. It was a really, really good, animated film. It was just beautifully animated. It was a fun time, Maybe not the best movie as far as story goes, but still one that was a lot of fun. And ultimately, when you go see a Dragon Ball movie or TV show, it's all about how much fun you have. So, 2019 kind of left us a bit downhill after that. There's been a lot of controversy in the community. It's the overall anime fandom, but Dragon Ball is part of that. There's a lot of controversy and a lot of drama going on this year. And I don't mean with myself necessarily, but the split in the anime fandom. And, it's really unfortunate that it came to that. We've always kind of had these debates as fans for years, Kai versus Z, or dub versus sub, or, Vegeta or Gohan, who do you like more? And there's always been these debates, but this year things went to a different level, and I'm hoping that going into 2020 that things will end up being better for all of us, and that we can get back to, being Dragon Ball fans. For me personally, this year has been one where in my personal life, I've had a lot of health issues go on. I've had a lot of problems, really mostly with health. Everything else has been pretty much okay, but my physical and mental health were really in dire straits for most of the year. If you follow me on social media, because I've talked about it on Twitter, how I've been dealing with trigeminal neuralgia, which Google that, it's really bad, and how my motivation for making content at times was not, really there, because I had to focus on my health. Now, the other issue with this year was, I had to deal with a lot this year. When, we broke the story of Dragon Ball Super coming back in July, I had done it with the utmost confidence that it was going to come out, based on various people who were very well trusted talking about this. And then it got postponed, and because of that, it became this whole shoot the messenger thing where I got attacked for it really, really badly. Is it my fault for reporting on Dragon Ball Super coming back early? Well, maybe, but I thought I was kind of doing it just to get the community really happy and hyped up that we're going to get more stuff. And then when it didn't happen, it was a big letdown, and I kind of understand why people would be upset. But ultimately, I got a lot of crap for it from a lot of different people. I got attacked more than I ever have since starting YouTube in 2015. I mean, it was really bad. And, I'm pretty good at having thick skin, because all I did was report what I was told from various people, and because I'm pretty good at sniffing out BS. And it was not BS what I reported whatsoever. There was way too much going on for it to be BS. But plans changed. essentially plans changed. And that's just what happens. It's no different than when, a reporter reports that Dwight Howard's going to go to this team and then he doesn't go to that team. It happens. It's not something that I'm happy about at all, but it happens. So because of that, I feel like Dragon Ball as a fandom kind of had a big void. We had games like Xenoverse and Fighters to kind of hold us out. The Heroes game in April really came and went. Nobody really talked about that game for more than a month or two. And that's it. Like, it didn't really connect with people like Fighters and Xenoverse did. And on top of that, Dokkan and Legends was doing pretty good with new stuff every year. The animations in Dokkan certainly improved, but there really wasn't a new game. You know what I mean? Like a new game. Now we have Kakarot coming up in January, which I think will probably be something that will hold many people over, but not everybody, because, it is just kind of, a retelling of Dragon Ball Z with a few new things. We've all been very familiar with that story for so many years. And, besides that, 2019 hasn't really given us anything truly new. I mean, the manga has given us, some interesting twists and turns here with the Moro arc. I still enjoy covering that, but not everybody likes the manga. And then you've also got the Dragon Ball Heroes promo anime, which to me is just doing nothing. It's just, I cover it just because it's habitual and because I think people want to hear me talk about it, but it's not that many people that care, and I'm pretty aware of that. Like, people don't care about that Heroes promo anime at all. Like, it's a joke, right? To be honest, it's a joke. I think people watch it because they want Dragon Ball. It's like an appetizer. So, going forward, we don't really know what's really in store for us in the future. I mean, we don't really know exactly when things are going to happen or when things are going to really take form and take shape right now. But one thing that I'm really thankful for, and I wanted to talk to all of you about this, is the continuing support I've gotten from all of you. Because I feel like, with my channel, specifically my channel, Geekdom 101, everybody's here for a different reason. I think a big chunk of my subscriber base that subscribe to me is here for the news. And when there's no news, obviously they're not going to be around as much, which I'm perfectly fine with. These things used to bother me years ago, but now I'm okay with it, because if people subscribe to me for news, then that means they trust me, right? That's what it means, that you have the utmost trust in me. And that's a very important thing to me, because it's something that I covet very dearly. People trust me. People have respect for me. So, of course, when Super gets postponed, I don't talk about this publicly, but I was having legitimate, episodes because of this. I'm over here just freaking out behind the scenes. I'm literally having panic attacks because I didn't want people to think that I lied to them, which I did not. I didn't lie in anything I said. See what I'm saying? But, of course, like expected, barnacles have to constantly attack me, and I had to deal with that this year. But what I am thankful for, though, is the people who stuck around, because you stuck around with me, and thus I stuck around with you. One of the things that is kind of an eye-opening thing is how many content creators either stopped doing discussions on Dragon Ball, which a lot of them kind of segued into games and things like that, which is fine, nothing wrong with that. Others just covered other anime, and how many of them just straight up didn't upload. Now, a lot of these people who I'm referring to are my friends, and a lot of them went through a lot of private things that I'm not going to talk about here on this video because it is private. They went through some real personal demons that they had to overcome, some of my friends, and some just quit. Some just didn't want to do it anymore, and others who I don't even know just vanished. But I'm really proud to say that I was one of the few who stuck around, and I still created a new series, which is the Transformation Guide, and I've got more editions of that coming, as well as, the another new series that I'm working on, which is going to take me a long time to put together, because it's going to take a lot of work. Something nobody's ever done before. Nobody's ever done it before, and I hope it kicks off well, and I hope people enjoy it. But I'm just really, a little apprehensive on it, but I got to get it done. It's a big project, but I really hope y'all like it when I drop it. Probably in 2020, it just depends. I actually have been postponing it for a while because of how big of a project it is. It's a big undertaking for me. But I'm still here. And I'm proud to say that I'm still here. I'm still uploading. I'm still doing collaborations. I'm still coming up with new series and new video ideas that people haven't even talked about before. I've still got a truckload of topic ideas that I have not been discussed by anybody, and in-depths. I mean, I got so many ideas that I haven't even touched on yet. Obviously, with Dragon Ball Super being on the air, it would make my life a lot easier because then I can kind of focus on Super and make those videos when time permits. Whereas now, I got all the time in the world to make those videos, which is good, but also it's harder. You see what I'm saying? It's a lot harder to cover legacy content than it is to cover new content. See what I'm saying? It's a lot more difficult. And it also requires more research and more editing. And, and these are all things that being a YouTuber, you kind of learn throughout the years. You learn. A lot of times you'll read comments from people who are not YouTubers and you can tell right away they have no idea what they're talking about. They'll criticize you for something that they have no clue what they're talking about. None. Like you'll see somebody talk about views and subs and view to sub ratio and CPM and things that they don't even have a channel. So they have no idea. They don't know. And, it's interesting. I've talked about that on my Speakdoms over on World of Geekdom, people like that. But people who are actual creators, you kind of learn that when you're doing YouTube, you have your ups and downs and you have your good days and your bad days. And you have times when you have to really hustle. You really got to hustle and you got to put something together that's going to, hopefully bang. But we're all victims of the algorithm. There's some channels that are popping right now that were not doing anything a year ago, and in 2 years they might not be doing anything. Same thing goes for my channel. There's channels that pop when certain content goes up that they post, but the other stuff doesn't even pop. The algorithm is ultimately our master, as a YouTuber. But really, the community is what I want to please. We did KamehaCon 2. I'm not involved in KamehaCon 3 at all. But I did, help with KamehaCon 2. I hosted and organized it and did a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Put a lot of stress on me, so I had to not do any more cons for at least a little while because it was very stressful, So I was able to rest this year. But I wanted to make this video to not only tell y'all my journey of my 2019, it's a little bit of insight, because I don't really get too personal on this channel, but I feel like I should more often sometimes. But also just be very thankful that a lot of y'all appreciated that I'm still here. And I feel like the people who are never going to go away are the hardcore Dragon Ball fans. There's people on here who live, breathe, think, talk Dragon Ball all the time. And it's really nice to have people like that, because I'm like that too. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I get burnt out sometimes talking about just Dragon Ball, which is why I have my second channel on my podcast. Thankfully I can talk about other things, but I'm always going to love Dragon Ball. You know what I mean? I might not talk about it for the rest of my life, but I'm always going to love it, and I'm always going to have something to talk about at some point with somebody who I find interesting. So I'm just really thankful and really blessed that that you guys are still here and that you guys still support me. And, I did a video on World of Geekdom about self-hatred. And, I sometimes feel like I'm not worthy of it. I feel like I'm happy where I'm at, and I'm happy what I bring to this community, but sometimes I do feel like I'm not worthy of it. And when you have somebody attacking you and flaming you, it tends to at times affect your insecurities. It tends to kind of flare up your insecurities. I'm real good at kind of blocking that stuff out, but once in a while you'll have a bad day and it'll get to you. You know what I mean? And they don't even know what they're doing, but it does that sometimes. And that goes for every creator. I'm speaking for everyone. Everyone has this issue. They might not tell you, but I'm being real with you. Every single one has this issue. It gets to you sometimes. You're going to have a bad day. But at the end of the day, as long as the community is still there for you, my channel has continued to grow this year despite not having a TV Dragon Ball Super anime, despite Dragon Ball Super being postponed. So that tells me that people are still interested in the content and they still care about what I have to say. So I just want to thank y'all for that. Like, you guys give me purpose. You really do. And it means more to me than you'll ever understand. Like, you won't ever... I can't put into words how much it means to me. I really can't. I remember when I went to go see Dragon Ball Super Broly back in January at the movie theater, there were some guys who I had run into. They were like high school, college guys. And they were like really happy to see me. They recognized me. And I was so moved by the fact that they were so appreciative of what I brought to the community just by their words and the way they were kind of like fanboying out over me, which is weird, but it's also adorable. And, I took them out to Olive Garden. I took them out to eat, and I took them out to eat because I was so moved by the love they showed me. And it just goes to show that somebody like me who has self-hatred, self-loathing issues, those kind of things really do matter. They really do. And go out there and do something nice for somebody today. And not just today, the rest of the month, the rest of the year, and next year. Do something nice because you don't know how much it might affect somebody. You might change somebody's entire perspective or make a bad day a good one. Thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you real soon. And thank you for everything.